When a heart breaks, they ask you to stop and take stock of things. I've heard that's what they tell the survivor of a natural disaster as well. Doctors say that the thing about coming out of any form of trauma or natural disaster is that you begin to lose certain chunk of your memory. Certain things begin to travel to the south of your head. So make a list, they say, of things you lost. The lone pashmina shawl that you wrapped around your head like a veil, of things you saved. The nights when the blood looked like crushed rose petals in your palm, of things that died. Your ability to love again, of things that lived. Realization is a python that swallows your memories and spits out lessons. My therapist tells me that I am a recovering cynic. He tells me that it's okay to begin a sentence with hopelessness, as long as you end it with hope. So I make a list of things I want to learn and things I want to forget. 1. I want to forget what it feels like to drown. I want to learn that pain is not a competition, that whether it is 7 feet of water or 12 feet of water, your lungs collapse just the same. दर्द के समंदर में हम डूब रहे थे. दर्द के समंदर में हम डूब रहे थे. पथरीली आंखें पूछ रही थी, पानी कितना गहरा है. शिकन थी ना माथे पे उसके. शिकन थी ना माथे पे उसके, अश्क भी ना थे पलकों पे. सीता इश्क में फना हुई फिर भी. सीता इश्क में फना हुई फिर भी, पाकीज़ा उसकी सिहर रही थी जिरह की ठंडी नजरों से. जिरह की ठंडी नजरों से. 2. I want to forget that love is terrifying. I want to learn that love means adrak wali chai on a winter afternoon, bougainvillea trees in full bloom. I want to learn that falling in love doesn't have to feel like being swept away by a tornado, that there may be a safe space within every tornado, but it's not my job to find it. इश्क और दिल के दरमियां, इश्क और दिल के दरमियां सरहद मैंने बनाई थी. दिल भी लेकिन बागी निकला, इश्क की जुस्तजू में उसने सारी लकीरें मिटाई थी. 3. I want to forget that separation creates borders between two hearts that can never be crossed. When hearts are forced into exile, words become traitors. So you learn to fall in love with silence, with never knowing if it hurt them just as much as it hurt you, and that's all right. And that's all right, because just because our story ended in a massacre doesn't mean it didn't start a revolution. Thank you, guys. महबूब तू ही बता, महबूब तू ही बता, एक तरफा इश्क ही था या दर्द भी था एक तरफा. दिल तेरा भी क्या तड़पा था दिन रात यूं ही बेचारा, या फिर कुछ ना कहना चुप ही रहना. तेरी खामोशी में मुझको मिला इनकार का तेरा संदेशा, इनकार का तेरा संदेशा. 4. I want to forget how to build homes in labyrinths, so when I first smell smoke, I can dash out of the door. I want to learn that this heart is not a graveyard, this tongue is not a cremation ground. I want to learn that there isn't any beauty in pain, that sadness is not the only option. नींद है रूठी आंखों से, नींद है रूठी आंखों से, ख्वाब है कैद सलाखों में. वो इश्क जो गहरा चढ़ता है, वो इश्क जो गहरा चढ़ता है, वो रंग भी जल्दी ढलता है. दिल जला जो उसकी आंखों में, आज भी शोला दहकता है. दिल की अर्थी सजाई हमने, दिल की अर्थी सजाई हमने, घर ढूंढा है शमशानों में. चिता इश्क की राख हो गई, कब्र की मिट्टी लेकर हम फिरते हैं सांसों में, फिरते हैं सांसों में. 5. Loving you felt like sitting by the fireplace on a winter midnight. Repressed memory is a term which means your body unconsciously blocks certain memories and events because they were associated with high levels of pain. I walk with soot in my lungs. I walk with soot in my lungs when we have been setting fire to ourselves all our lives. Every pyre feels like a fireplace. Every house on fire feels like home. इश्क में मिलती मुस्कान भी है, इश्क में मिलती मुस्कान भी है, या दर्द ही है मकसद इसका. लफ्जों की खोज में निकला, वो गम को पल पल ढूंढ रहा था. दरख्त की छाँव में वो ना ठहरा, दरख्त की छाँव में वो ना ठहरा, सहरा में प्यासा भटक रहा था, और दरिया ने जब पास बुलाया, शराब वो उसको समझ रहा था, भटक रहा था, भटक रहा था। अल्फाजों की जुस्तजू में खोया एक शायर अपना दम तोड़ रहा था, एक शायर अपना दम तोड़ रहा था। 4. Repressed memory is a term which means your body unconsciously blocks certain memories and events because they were associated with high levels of pain. 4. You once told me that when the curtain fell on this act, we'll remember only the love. We'll forget the times I ran out of the house in the middle of a sentence, the times I drove you so insane that you swore I was turning you into a monster. You were right. Because even after all these bullets have macheted my heart, I stare out of my window at the moon. It's the same moon I stared at all night the first time I realized I was in love with you. 3. We named ourselves grief and sat in an overflowing bathtub in a clogged bathroom. Which is to say that when we slit the wrist of our relationship, the pristine rooms of love turned blood red. Which is to say, this is how we make monsters out of people, pressing their head underwater, knowing that lungs can't grow into gills, knowing that when we feed a monster blood, it's only going to crave for more blood. 2. You once told me that we should believe in forever. So once upon a time, we used to believe in forever. You told me that if we were to ever separate, you would transform into ice and orbit my being like rings of Saturn all your life. Until this day, when I run my fingers through my hair, I comb out shattered pieces of asteroids and broken moon from my hair. As years passed by, your memory melted into my heart like ice. We are all shapeshifters in love. 1. Once upon a time, I fell in love with a man, and his smile reminded me of the full moon. When he smiled, I turned into a werewolf. Once upon a time, people believed that there's nothing more tragic than the way the werewolf won't stop chasing the moon, even though it had given him nothing but pain. And I want to forget. And I want to forget how to love like this. Shape-shifting into a werewolf, into a monster, at the first sight of love, howling away at the distant moon, asking him if he will ever love a monster back. If he will ever love a monster back. Thank you, guys. That was my time. Thank you.